technology, or to be more specific about the benefits of using technology in the classroom. We hear and we see that technology is everywhere. How many of you can't go a day without technology, without your phones, without a tablet or something, right? Most of us can't go a day without it. So it's everywhere, and we use it in the government, at work, our military. But what about the classroom? I see a lot of teachers still using the chalkboard, or I had to suffer a class where the teacher was using the old projectors that you need to write on paper, and it reflects on. That was back in the days, and she actually had a projector, but she wasn't using it. So there's technology everywhere in the classroom, but we don't see it as much. Those are just some examples of teachers that still use the old or don't use technology. But as soon as you walk in, you have your Chromebooks, the projector, the computer. Sometimes we use our phones to play Kahoot, to play or to use Google Classroom. But what about some of the benefits of using technology? It says more student involvement, so students are not bored. How many of you have your books and then it just gets bored to read and read and read and correct? Or what about if I told you that you don't even have to carry your book? How many books do you have there? Aren't they heavy? What about if you could just use your phone? I just took a class at Cal State, and I didn't even have to I didn't have to carry the book. I just had it on my phone. I could log in and have access to the book. And I could even write comments, highlight everything, like you guys do with Newsela, right, or Google Classroom. Everything you can actually, when you're reading the article, you can actually highlight, annotate, and the articles there, you can go back anywhere. You can have access to it at home, here, at work, anywhere. You could be at practice, and while you're getting ready for the game, you could be doing your homework. You have access anywhere. And obviously, it's more interesting when you have access to videos or presentations instead of just the book. Help each other. When you have Google tools like Google Drive, you guys can work on, let's say, a presentation, and I can add slides, and you can add slides. We don't even have to be in the same room. You could be at home, I could be here at the library, and we can all work together without even being here in the same classroom. I could work with other teachers. I need help with a lesson plan. I could be working with someone on the other side of the world. Prepare the students for working environments. Not only working environments, but also for college. Most of you are gonna need technology, are gonna take online classes, are gonna make presentations, and if you don't know how to use all this technology, you're gonna be behind. Connect to real life situations. What about if instead of reading the book, like I said, you're in history class, world history class, and you learn about the Holocaust? What about if you could, instead of reading about it, if you could have access to a computer or a presentation, or you could actually be there with virtual reality? There's Google. Mrs. Rodriguez, is it called Google Exploration?
Yes.
I think. And if you have the virtual reality, you can actually feel like you're walking around, let's say, Auschwitz. You can actually see it, look at how it looked. Or what about if you could Skype with one of the survivors? And you could actually have interaction. In a book, you can ask you can really ask questions to those people. You know, you read about what they went through. But what about the professor or the teacher, you know, is using FaceTime or Skype, and you could actually ask questions to that person. Wouldn't you learn more? In this case, if you're learning about CPR or whatever, or something like that, if you could actually be there and see how it works, you will learn more than just reading about it. Offer challenging opportunities that promote risk-taking. Obviously, if, like I said, if you have just a book, it's very limited. But if you have a computer, you can be anywhere, know about anything, talk to anyone, and obviously assist teachers in developing interactive lessons. Like I said, your lessons are not just boring, but you see visuals. Some of you learn more if you see it. Some of you learn better if you actually do it. So here, instead of just reading it, you could play games. Wouldn't that, you make mistakes, but you learn, okay, let's play again, and then you're gonna be learning as you go. Organization and grading policies. For those of you that have access to Google Classroom, all your assignments are there. All the readings are there. You can go back anytime you want. So everything's organized, and it's easy to grade. It's easy to provide feedback. You know it right away. You know if you pass the quiz right away, correct? You don't have to wait 2 weeks for the teacher to grade them. It's right there. You know if you fail or you pass. And it motivating games. You participate more when it's fun, correct? Reducing time gaps, like I was telling you about the projector. I had to write it because I had the paper next to me and I was writing it. Instead, I told the teacher the next day, can you email me the paper? And I was able to project it. And while the students were writing, I was already preparing my next slide, and there's no, you have more time to teach instead of having to wait. Preparing students for the real world, like I said, you're ready for college, you're ready for work, because anywhere you go, you're gonna use technology. Keeping students on task and interested. Keeping them on task. The other day, Mrs. Rodriguez wasn't even here. She was somewhere else, and she was telling me, this student is not working. This student is not annotating. And that helps us as teachers, because some of you just kind of don't read the whole thing, go straight to the quiz, and then you fail it. And so we know why you failed, correct? You didn't highlight anything, you didn't annotate, and therefore you're gonna fail. But if you actually highlight and annotate and you still don't pass it, then we can go back and say, well, maybe you were not highlighting what's important. Maybe the material was too much, maybe the level is not correct. But then we can fix things as we go. And that's pretty much it. Any questions? No? Do we agree that we need technology in the classroom?
Yes.
Thank you very much.